This episode is brought to you by All Black Men Need Therapy merchandise. Visit www.abmnt.com to purchase your gear today. If you type in code ABMNT Live 15, you'll get 15% off while we are recording live. Per usual, hug a black man today and tomorrow. My people, what up, though? My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
And we got our homie player partner, Tamora, with us. Y'all like my commercial voice?
I was about to say, was that your radio voice when you
Slim was looking like, what the hell is he doing? No, I was trying. We don't ever plug our merchandise. We want to make sure we get that out the way. But y'all go to the website, type in ABMNT Live 15 as the code, and you will get 15% off of the clothing while we are live. So you go to abmnt.com, use the code ABMNT Live 15 and get 15% off our merch. You dig? We are currently waiting for Mr. White to join us, but we got a homie from around the way here with us. She's gonna offer a little female perspective for us because we got some shit to talk about today, y'all. But prior to that, like we do all the time, check in. Bellhead, how you feeling, B? Check in.
I'm good, man. Well, first of all, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. I think we recorded on Christmas Eve, and Christmas has since passed. We're live, so actually, I was gonna say by the time this airs, it'll be a few days after Christmas. But yeah, we're live. There go Adrian. What's up, good brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, I was about to say his mic probably not working right now, so give him a second. But he's
over there glitching again.
We can hear him at least, and they just muted himself. So Christmas was cool, man. My mom went nuts with my son's Christmas, like to the point where I'm like, I shouldn't have bought this little dude nothing. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, she bought him more than everybody combined. Like, when we thought it was over, then she pulled out this huge, I didn't even know they made gift bags that big, like full of clothes. So that was dope. That was cool. I spent Christmas Eve and Christmas in Connecticut, and I just been chilling, man. I've been off, so I've been doing some reading. My goal is to be done with 2 books by the 2nd, which I'm on track. What else? I'm banging out my to-do list. That's like liberating. I don't know if I'm just like new to the to-do list thing. Like I'm normally just like I'll have a to-do list for the day, but in terms of the to-do list for like a period of time. So like I'm looking at my list now. I banged a lot of that stuff out. I got my boy his first big boy bed, so he's out of the crib.
Word.
And he's in the twin size right now. He's giving the wife.
You get him the race car joint?
Nah, so we leapfrog that, man. We got a full size twin, if that makes sense. So he got a twin, and I bought this bed from the store, and it's ill because it's called a reversible bed, and literally, bro, it's like his bed is on the bottom now. But literally, you flip it upside down, it's a bunk bed with a loft. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. But anyway, that's it, man. I'm running around. I plan to go see some family tomorrow. I might pop into Connecticut, but I'll definitely be in Springfield. Shout out Uncle Larry. I'm gonna go pull up on him. Yeah, man, that's really it. Oh, I went to the gym. I got a gym membership. That was part of my to-do list. I got a new gym membership that's closer to the house. And yo, I felt old as hell in that gym this evening. Like, I'm looking at these girls. I'm like, yo, y'all not gonna put nothing on. Y'all really not gonna have no clothes on in here.
Yeah, they be in there wilding.
I'm like, yo, you're gonna get a staph infection. Like I was that guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I'm just too old, man. But I
Did they
don't
have
really.
tripods out?
Huh?
Did they have the tripods like recording?
I didn't see that. I will say one of the like 4 I saw looked like she was probably serious about lifting. Not to say that the tripods wouldn't come out, you know, but anyway, I normally don't lift in the evening, but that's the first time I got to it today. So I'm a 6 a.m. type of guy. So I'm hoping the vibe will be a little different because it was real like meathead vibes, pause in there. So I don't know. But I got the job done. But that's my check-in.
No doubt. Mr. White, check in, homie. Here we go with this bullshit.
Yo, my shit's slow. I see it freezing up. It's bad.
No, you good. You good right now.
You good, man.
All right. Shoot. This week it's been straight, man. I had a conversation with my wife that was interesting, in which she feels like everything is right or wrong with me, and she's trying to get me to see like it's no winners in some of this stuff. And I do struggle with it because it's like, if I'm right though. You know what I'm saying? And she's bringing it just into the video game. I mean, not the video game. We playing Monopoly, and she wants me to like sell properties, but it'll literally increase my chance of losing. So it literally like don't make no sense for me to do it. And she's just like,
he almost fought me one time.
Talking about
same scenario.
But yeah. But I think it has merit. You know what I'm saying? So it's something I really want to over the next week or so really just sit with, really evaluate my life and how I move with her, because she said like she feels that way a lot, like it's always like right or wrong a lot. And so I want to kind of explore what that's looking like and how that's showing
black
up.
or white.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a winner and a loser.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
No doubt. Hey, I know they say ladies first, but I wanted to save the best for last. So tomorrow I'm gonna check in and then let you rock. You dig?
That's fine.
All is well. Been grinding something serious over this Christmas vacation break type deal. It's been going well. Not really crazy to share.
How them full-time schedule been going?
It was cool, yo. Yesterday I got a lot done. So it was we'll just see how the benefits of the hard work happen as we move forward. So I'm excited to see it all go down. But it was a cool day. It really was. Locked in. I don't think I had my phone. I didn't look at my phone for like 5-6 hours. So it was cool.
That's locked in.
Yeah.
For sure. But tomorrow, it's great to have you. Thanks for joining us, yo.
Thanks for having me.
Real quick, let me just give you a slight introduction. So I'm going to be talking about the topic soon, but for those of you just joining us for the first time, we normally have myself, Chief, and Adrian on. But tonight we wanted to add some perspective, and Tamar and I have literally been friends, 25 years, something like that, give or take. So it's been a minute. And she's hilarious just in real life, and I love her perspective on things. So I wanted to invite her on because, as you'll see, this topic will potentially push some buttons. So I wanted to make sure we had some female representation. So Tamara, take it away with your check-in.
I'm glad the holidays are over. I'm not a Christmas girl, so I'm glad that we got past that. Usually we do so I canceled Christmas for my kids as soon as they found out like Santa wasn't real, like maybe around 10. And so we would do vacations every year, like with the family. We would, go on vacation with my sister and her kids. Things changed a little bit with our family. My dad had a stroke last year. So there's just been some different dynamics on how, we operate. So we weren't able to go on vacation this year. I think we're doing a vacation in April. So we had to do the whole gift giving thing again. And
you say it like it's such a burden.
It's so stressful because, when you're giving year round, you're just trying to find stuff to satisfy people, right? Yeah. And as you guys know, I have kids, and with my kids being at this age, my son's a senior. One of my sons is a senior, and one of my other son is a sophomore. And they have girlfriends now with no jobs. So I'm like, yo, y'all can't date if you can't afford women, right? So it was like, all right, don't buy me nothing. Just buy my girl this, and this, so they could have an even exchange. So my son that's in 10th grade was like, this ain't enough. I'm like,
Uh-oh, we just lost you.
Oh,
there you go. You back.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, can you hear me? Could you
see
me?
You
Okay.
See you and hear you. Yep.
He had about $150 worth of stuff. We made a little gift basket for. He was like, no, this ain't enough for her. I'm like, with no job? Like, with no
the audacity.
Right. So, I'm going through that. I'm going through the college application stage now with my son that's a senior, which is pretty tough. I cried for as I was going through his Common App. I saw the listings of the schools. It's like Kentucky, like Florida. I'm like, CCS, like, you want to leave? Like,
like it's a school down the street.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a school right around the corner. So, I've been dealing with that. But overall, life is good. I'm at a new stage in life, dating and all that. So
that's what's up.
But no complaints.
It's wild out here in these dating streets.
It is.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
That's it. Bell, before you get into today's topic, to all our people, we're trying something new with the Instagram Live, but what we learned is that they haven't quite figured out the configuration of it all. So if your comments aren't seen on our live platform, so if you want to comment, tap into our YouTube channel. The link is in both my story and the All Black Men Need Therapy story. Tap into the YouTube page and subscribe to our channel and leave your comments there. We'll see them that way faster. You dig?
So just a quick question. If they comment on YouTube, they'll come up on the StreamYard right here?
They'll come up on the screen, yes. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter will come up on here. But Instagram, for some reason, they haven't, figured that out yet. Nevertheless, today's topic is very, very I want to say very, very, but today's topic could point out being controversial. I clipped this joint today and it's pretty much I can't find it now. I don't think I put it on here.
Run shit here. You just live here.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna start this conversation. Bellhead, go ahead and break it down to him one time for the one time.
I wanted because that's just a heightened thing.
That's why I did that, but go ahead.
No, so again, thank you guys for joining us again for yet another episode of Therapy Thursday. We have, as I've said before, those of you who are new to the platform, to the page, we have been going live on Thursday with an actual therapist to talk about topics from our perspective as well as the professional perspective, in addition to allowing our supporters to chime in with questions either directed towards Adrian or questions directed towards the topic. That being said, so recently there was an episode of The Pivot that was released, and I thought it was a great episode, but I could see how some things could be potentially misconstrued, and I can see how some emotions and or opinions can be formed from it. So for those of you who haven't seen it, there's a Chief's gonna play the clip, but just to give you some background. So Jonathan Owens is the starting safety for the Green Bay Packers, and he has a phenomenal story, just his plight and how he got to the NFL, how he stayed in the NFL, everything like that. Jonathan Owens, in addition to being a starting safety in the NFL, is also the husband of Simone Biles. So again, he was on the Pivot podcast talking about his journey in the NFL, and obviously you can't have him on and not talk about Simone Biles and how they met. So Chief's going to play a clip that essentially encapsulates what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Check it out.
How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question.
Oh,
man.
Lord Jesus. Now you with Freddie. Now it's back. now you
listen,
with
I'm gonna tell you organic story, man. So my boys are like, hey man, you gotta check out this app, and I'm like, I'll check it out. Basically it's like a dating app, but you have to go through certain criteria to make sure that you're who you are. So literally have been on the app for a couple of days, man, and it's like she pops up and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, So I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get I had some likes on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, this might be. I'm like, okay. So I see what's up, and then I still waited. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait till I, take a shower and everything. Then I come back to my phone, and then she messages me on the app like, hey, you know what I mean? And I'm, man, this gotta be fake. Like, I don't know. I didn't know who she was at the time, but like the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she gotta be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and we're in camp. Late July, early August, so I'm not paying attention to, so I never would have had a moment to where I would have watched, like,
Jonathan, I'm gonna let you finish your story, man. Continue.
But like I was saying, man, she messaged me. This was like a Tuesday, and we were texting back and forth, and then we hung out Friday, man. And we couldn't do much as COVID happened, everything was shut down. So she came through down to Houston. She lived in the suburbs, so she had to drive about 45 minutes to me. Then the rest is history, man. So
you was really the catch in.
I always say the men the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did though.
Is what you're saying?
Cause I was fighting it.
So in truth, if I say this out loud, was Jonathan Owens ain't really want Simone Biles. Is what you're saying?
At the time, I'm not gonna say that.
That's what you're saying.
I was afraid. I was afraid to commit. I'm like,
So before we even get into the talk, I put this together just for this dude right here.
Some of y'all need a sombrero hat. Big cat.
He's capping. He's lying. There's no way he didn't know who Simone Biles was. Let's touch that real quick. There's no way this dude didn't know who Simone. She was the hottest thing at the Olympics. The biggest conversation at the Olympics.
I believe him.
Nah.
I believe him, B.
Slim, you believe that?
Absolutely not. As like my kids and the they say cap, but because I'm a woman of a certain age, I say fedora.
Word.
Lying. He's lying.
This was all we was out right there.
Why the fuck you lying?
That nigga's lying.
But you've heard the name. Like even if you've never watched the Olympics, I don't watch the Olympics. I don't, but I know.
You know the name, yeah.
Right, like you gotta know the name, and she was the hottest. Like she was the. Didn't she do like perfect everything that year? Like everything was perfect score.
Oh, actually, I take that back. I was gonna say this was 6 years ago, but it wasn't 6 years ago. They started dating. I want to say 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yep. You said 3.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Never mind.
Even as the shout out to the Pivot Podcast. First of all, you see RC gave him the side like, come on, man. Like, stop lying. Like, you knew who she was. And as the clip consumed, he was saying that he really found out when they went out somewhere and like people were like stopping and asking him to take pictures of them. Like, you knew who you was with, B. Like, no.
I don't know, man. Like, that seemed genuine, man. It seemed genuine to me. I believe him, yo. I believe him, man.
Nah, we're not doing that.
But anyway, her notoriety aside, for the purpose of this conversation, he said something and then RC kind of doubled down on it when he called himself the catch. Like, basically she bagged him, you know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of thoughts and a lot of questions that hopefully we'll get to all of them, because I can see it going in a lot of different directions, especially with having a female's perspective on here, which is going to be much needed for this conversation. But my first question is, how do we... Well, first of all, Adrian, have you seen that clip before tonight?
Yeah, I seen that video, girl, yeah.
All right. So my first question is, how do we quantify a catch? Because I have a lot of thoughts, right? Like, how do we quantify a catch? Like, what makes a person a catch? Like, he's one of the best at what he does. She is the best ever at what she does. So if that's what it is based on talent, then yeah, she's the catch. But what are we basing it on? So that's my first question.
So before we get to that question, just plain and simple answer. Bell, who is the catch? The man or the woman?
I don't think it can be blanket. I don't think
pick a side.
No, I'm not, because that's very general.
Slim, who's the catch? The man or the woman? Tomorrow.
Oh, for me,
yeah.
I think that both men and women have something to contribute to a relationship, right? But I think at the end, because the man ultimately makes the decision, the man would be the catch.
Mr. White, who's the catch, the man or the woman?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the man, and I based it off of. Yeah, I based it off of because I feel like with a solid man, you're at least good, right? Like if the man is solid, the relationship will be at least a C, right? You can at least be a C. But with a woman, I feel like you get the right woman that could boost you to an A, but it can also have you at an F. So for stability reasons, I'll say a solid man. I'll say that's why we're the catch overall, if I had to generalize it.
So Erykah Badu, this clip may have been real old. I just happened to stumble across it, and I should have maybe added this. I just thought about it just now, though. She said, essentially, she was on the same topic, and what she said was, whoever has the mission is in charge. So whoever lays out the mission, like this is the plan, this is the vision, this is where we're going. Whoever does that, that's who's in charge, and then the other person follows that person. So the reason why I don't personally believe that, I feel like it's circumstantial. Like in my opinion, it's circumstantial. Like I don't believe that. Perfect example. Give me a perfect example. My parents have been married for 40 years, right? 41 years. My mom is the catch, period. Like, period. Like, my dad will survive on his own. If my dad didn't have me, or even if he did have me, but like if he just had to live by his own means without my mom, he would survive. He would probably be renting a room for my uncle and doing break jobs here and there and eating pork chop sandwiches. Like, he would survive. Like, he would have, by his account, a good life. But with my mom makes his life exponentially better. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, my dad can do things that my mom can't do, but to live how he's living, it's only possible because of my mother. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I personally believe it's not like a gender assignment. It's not like, oh, the man has to be the catch all the time. I feel like it's circumstantial. Because if you ask my wife, she's the catch, which is bullshit, right? Play that clip. Play it real quick. So, like, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? But that's my 2 cents. So you guys feel the man pretty much is the catch in most scenarios?
I think just off of the basis of what Slim was saying, Tamora was saying. Sorry, I'm grandfathered in. She is formerly known as Slim. So, you know, I mean, for those who don't know, wonder who I'm talking about. Just man being head of household. Like, I still believe Pop is the head of the house. Like, Pop is still the man of the house.
Oh no, I agree.
And G respects him as such. But to your point, I do understand from that dynamic. But at the end of the day, I believe, you know, it's, you know, the man of the house becomes the catch because the responsibilities on him.
Yeah, Bobby is golden. So
wait, you broke up, Tamara. What'd you say?
I said Bobby is golden. He's different. Like,
he is different. He is different. And again, it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works. Like, he's a survivor is what he is under all circumstances. He's a survivor. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so that was my first question. And then the second question is, well, actually you answered it.
We didn't really, I guess we did kind of define it a little bit.
Well, no, we didn't define it. So is defining it just being the head of household, meaning the figure. Here's a good way to sum it up. Like, if something goes wrong, everybody's going to this person. Is that a simple enough definition to define as this is what the catch would be? For instance, right? Like, if you manage individuals in an office setting and something happens in the office or somebody comes and asks to speak to the manager, they're going to go to you, right? If you're the boss. So in that scenario, you're the head of the office. So does that constitute as the catch if you're the head of the household? Or is it more than that?
I think most of the time women on the back end lead the household. You know, the man might make the final decision, but the woman keeps the wheel moving, right?
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, so you can't say that it's the person that makes the decision, but ultimately, when you're talking about when you're going from dating stage into marriage or long-term relationship, ultimately that decision is really left up to the man, right? So no matter how much the woman wants to move to the next level, they have to wait for the man to be like, all right, yeah, like I think I want to take you to this next level.
That makes perfect sense, and I agree with that.
The table, it doesn't happen. The man is not ready for that. So that man holds that power.
So it's interesting that you all agree, and I agree based on circumstance, that the man can be the catch. But the way, I don't know if you guys looked at the comments after that interview, like
killing them.
Yo, they called that man Mr. Simone Biles. Like, yo, that is crazy. And like, it's so wild to me that him being the catch is that unfathomable to people.
It's because of her clout. Like, Simone is she's a big damn deal. It's literally the best in the world. And they based that, a lot of the comments were based off of his stature too. Oh, he's an undrafted free agent and blah, 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 blah. Like, he's in the NFL. Like, chill out. He's a starter in the NFL. Cool out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Simone is literally the greatest in the world, if not ever. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah, but I think the thing with the women too, though, is because that really doesn't matter, though, right? Like, yeah, it's fire that you're the best in this, but that literally has no impact on the relationship. It has no impact on the man really wanting to be with you. Now, of course, her bread is just totally different, right? So yeah, men will be with her because of that, but
see, I don't know what Olympians make. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
She got stupid dumb endorsements. She got stupid dumb endorsements. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? She's a millionaire.
He's probably not right now, which is interesting. He might just be cracking the M, maybe.
Yeah, but I think because women strive so hard for the status, like with their degrees and businesses and wanting to be so accomplished, they think that elevates them. So that's why they're like, hey, based on stature, she's here, so she's the catch. And it kind of validates them in what they're doing, I feel like.
Her net worth is $16 million.
Yeah, his ain't. I was just looking it up.
Like, she elevates when you're comparing career, but when you're talking about dating level, right? Like, you're just looking, if she doesn't.
Slim, you breaking up a little bit. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe you can get a little closer to the microphone, I think.
All right, let me know if I need to adjust. But even if you take away all of her accolades and what she does, and they're just on the dating app, and she doesn't include any of that, right? Like, if he didn't look and see that she had a gazillion followers, would he have been as interested just based on her appearance, or just based on whatever her biopic was, right? Like, whatever her bio was, or whatever, however that works, just based on that, would he have been as interested?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know, but I don't know. But I mean, regardless of that, though, he's now interested, right? So he's now interested. You know what I'm saying? And he declares himself as the catch. And I don't disagree with him. Like, I agree, and I know obviously you guys, based on your definitions, you agree that the man is more often than not the catch. And I said it's circumstantial, and I believe this is a circumstance where he is the catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like you alluded to, Adrian, what are we really talking about? Are we talking about money? Are we talking about athletic stature? Right? Or are we talking about the person who was the most interested, or the person who was chasing, for lack of a better term? You know what I'm saying? And if we're not talking about athletic prowess, then everything would lead to him being the catch. But I think for some people, it's hard to fathom that somebody as accomplished as Simone Biles would, this is going to sound harsh, but would be attracted to him. You know, which is crazy because there's literally no one else like her unless she dates Michael Phelps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. That's
the only apples to apples comparison. So it's like a lose-lose situation. It's like this, in my opinion, there's nobody's going to compare to her from a stature standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So if that category is no longer relevant, then we're talking about everything else. And everything else would lead me to believe that he's the catch. You know, so that's why I want to talk about this, because I'm like, I can't be the only one that feels like he's the catch.
Yeah, I don't think like do men who acknowledge that they are the catch, I don't think they walk around like holier than thou. You know what I'm saying? They just take responsibility in being the head of household, being the leader, and so on. And so they can, you know, share responsibilities, all the good stuff. They can acknowledge that his wife takes care of the home and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, he's the leader of his home. And that's what women thrive for, that security and safety and protection, all that. You know? Am I making this up? Because they're going wild on the Instagram, like, what about dual parent home, dual decision homes and so on and so forth. And it's like,
yo, so my question is,
it's ego. Somebody said it's ego.
I mean, it's ego on both sides, though. Like, here's my question to you tomorrow. And I'm going to use this term very loosely in air quotes. Is it dead for the traditional woman? Like the concept of being a traditional partner.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Which makes you the right person to ask.
Because I'm super traditional. Just and I know that's not like the norm. I tell people all the time, if you follow my stories, I tell people, and they probably are going to kill me, but I don't even listen to Beyonce because she promotes independence, and I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to take that in, because that's not what I subscribe to. Right? She promotes like the music of independence when she goes home to her husband at the end of the night. She doesn't even believe the stuff that she preaches, and so for me, no, I don't think that.
So tomorrow, I wrote this down when we started talking. I know they're young and they're still puppies and all of the above. But when you were talking about the boys and their girlfriends and they broke teenagers right now, are the broke teenage men still the prize?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The way, I'll tread lightly, but the way that I see my son's girlfriend praise this boy that has nothing.
Well, he's a good human.
Right. That's case in point. Right. My man ain't got two nickels to rub together, but he's the catch.
That women will invest in the potential of the man because the man is ultimately the prize, right? Like, she feels like he's mannerable, he's respectful, he seems like he might be going somewhere, so it's worth the investment. It's worth her spending her 15-hour-a-week paycheck on every gift that she can buy for this boy, even if she doesn't have the equivalent to return, right? Because she feels like the ROI is going to be worth it.
I want to touch on something you said, Tamora, about Beyonce and the independence rhetoric is what it is. So it's crazy. I watched this YouTube clip on one of the original writers for the Cosmopolitan. Her name is Sue Ellen Browder, and what she talked about is how the Cosmopolitan was just all propaganda. So she wrote for the Cosmopolitan for 20 years, and they were part of the women's movement, right? The feminist movement and women empowerment and all of this. And she's like, it was all lies. She was like, we were bringing these communities together of women to bring them along with us, but we weren't doing any of the things that we were saying.
Right.
Like, it was all rhetoric and propaganda. And she ended up retiring after 20 years, or leaving after 20 years, and she became Catholic and everything like that, and denounced everything she did. And she has like all the literally rule books, like what you can write, like if you don't have a source, make it up. Like, literally, it was all this stuff in there. And then she felt bad what she did to women, because she's like, they're part of the, it's like one of the number one magazines. And she's like, they were part of the reason that this resurgence of independence and all this stuff with women, not that women shouldn't be independent,
right,
but to do it based on false narratives, you know what I'm saying? And that's where she was like, she felt bad about that, because I do think that I don't know, like you said, you're traditionally untraditional in this day and age, you know, where there is a lot of independence, there is a lot of these things. And I think sometimes I was just having a conversation with my friend. She's an attorney, she's does well, and she's dating, and she's so independent that she can't pick up the signs that this guy is giving. I'm like, yo, he likes you. Like what is the problem? He said, well, he needs to do this. I'm like, he's doing it. He's stopping because of you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be too tough for your own good. Like you can't be that hard. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of that is seeping through too in those comments, where it's like, we can celebrate a man without putting down a woman. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I think that's what a lot of people are getting from this right now. What about the couples? What about couples? What about the ego? And I'm like, we're not down in women. Women get their rightful respect in all regards, but they're taken as if, like, by us saying the men are the prize, that the women aren't. I'm sure you value your wife as the prize. Like, that's how you feel, and you feel the same way about each other.
I'm the catch, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I feel like it's like it sounds like, I don't know your wife personally, but it sounds like, she's what they call girl boss, right? Like, she probably walked out into the world and she probably owns everything that she does. But I'm sure when she comes home, she does, I don't know, but she probably doesn't want to tell you what to do.
No.
In all regards, like, she's looking for your input, she's looking for your feedback. She wants you to participate in that.
100%.
And so for example, your friend that you're saying that dating and that she's an attorney and all of that, like, one of the suggestions that I gave to my friend, I'm like, makes a good amount of money, like, professional. But I'm like, when you're dating, why are you leading with what you do for a living? Why are you leading with that? What do you do? I'm in the medical field. There's no need for you. Like, it's for doctors. You don't need to tell them.
Right. I agree with that.
You don't need to tell them. Because now what happens is it changes the way that people treat you, because, oh, you know what, if you're a doctor, then you know what, you probably got your own, so now they're going to expect for you to pay for things more or take leadership in certain areas. No, I'm just in the medical field. You don't need to share the details of that.
I agree, because it can
hold that thought, Belle. While you're here, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Continue. You gotta throw those in there, B.
So what I'm kind of going all around with my questions that I had pre-written for this, but here's a question, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we're the only community, the Black community, we're the only community that won't allow men to be the catch or the prize. If you think about some of these other cultures, right? There's people who have arranged marriages, right? There's people who wives can't work. Literally, they cannot work. It is illegal for them to work.
Right.
And there's women who aspire in other cultures to be the trophy wife. But why in our culture does it have to be so black and white? Or it's like, no, the woman this, the woman that. Like, again, I know you guys had a firm stance on who's the catch, but I said it's all circumstantial. And I'm open to it being circumstantial, but in some cultures, it's never up for debate. It's never up for debate. But in our culture, it's like, nah, like, you better give that woman her respect. You better do this. You better do that. I'm like, yeah, but can we live though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this so hard for y'all to understand that I'm the catch? You know what I'm saying?
Because the implication is that you're implying that she is not, and that's not what you're saying at all. She is also. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Go ahead, Adrian.
No, I was saying it's a lot of bitterness and unforgiveness that women have towards men and that men have towards women. So where anytime somebody says something, we automatically perceive it as negative, right? We're not giving each other the benefit of the doubt anymore. Anything, we always think that somebody is attacking, so much so, like you said, we can't praise men. They automatically take it as, an insult, and vice versa, when it can literally be something else, right? I feel like with us as men, a lot of us are paying for the mistakes of our fathers and our fathers' fathers and uncles, and so we have to pay that price, but we don't want to. So it's just
on the flip side, there's a lot of women that were raised by strong Black independent women out of necessity, not choice, out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking some of these lessons that were learned out of necessity and applying them to their actual life. That is not your scenario, but you're adapting some of these teachings and some of these principles that were groomed through necessity. You know what I'm saying? Like there were no other choices. Like they had to do what they had to do. And it's like, your mom did all those things, so you don't have to deal with that. But you're still taking, and again, I'm not blaming the individual, but it's just like, this is the reality. Like we have to start addressing some of those things.
Right, but with us as men, we didn't cause it. So how do we provide the space for them to even do it? Right, especially now we got this movement where everywhere you go, men are just pointing the finger at them. Hey, you're doing this. Hey, you need to do this. You need to do that.
Men pointing the finger at women
to receive it, huh?
You said men pointing the finger at women?
Yeah, well, so we're just pointing like, hey, why are you doing it? And they literally, and it's not, I'm not saying we're smarter, but a lot of women literally don't even have the capacity to understand why they think the way that they think. And
it's crazy, man, because I think it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite. Okay. Like I think, and I've when I say I think it's the opposite, it's solely based on what I see on social media. Shit like this, right? Like the topic that we're talking about tonight is not from personal experience. I feel like Black women have never been more educated than they are today. That's a fact, right? Black women are the most educated population in the country. And I think that is the dopest shit that can be said, right? Like I think it's super dope. But I think sometimes, man, things can get cloudy. I think it can get cloudy, and on both sides. Like, cause it happens with men. I shouldn't say it happens with men often or more, but I should say it's more prominent in men. Men, being successful or being whatever, and acting a certain way. Again, not justifying that. I'm just saying that's from the dawn of time. Men have been like that. And again, not saying it's right, but I think now women are adapting some of those same thoughts and ideologies when sometimes it's not warranted. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's not warranted. And again, I would say men more often than not, it's not warranted. But now when you got, like you said, you got two people or two groups going at each other, and you're going to get a stalemate every time. Every time. And that's where I think some of these comments are coming from. What are you thinking about, you? You mute it.
Sorry, I was just reading. While you guys, I'm reading some of the comments on Instagram, and people are salty, like salty. Adrian, one of you. Women don't have the capacity, ? Please do speak for yourself. Do not generalize.
So what I mean by capacity, so first of all, we have to understand this, right? I don't mean like they can't do it. They're not taught to do it. And we aren't either. But see, that goes back to the point. Just because I speak to a woman lacking something, that doesn't mean that I'm better. I'm literally just speaking on something that certain women are lacking, which is understanding. A lot of women don't understand men. And because you only can see us through your lens, that's going to create friction. Y'all don't know how to take the time to listen, to understand where we are at, to validate us where we are at. That's why men say, hey, I'm not going to be open with you because you don't know how to handle our emotions. That's just one small thing. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but you don't know how to do it, right? If I ask these women, Because one question I ask every couple who comes in when I do marriage counseling: who taught you how to be a husband? Who taught you how to be a wife? Oh, well, nobody. I'm just kind of figuring it out. Right? So those are not the things that women are studying. They're not studying us. They're not studying how we move, how we think, what we need, what motivates us, and vice versa. We're not studying them. Yet everybody thinks they just automatically know the answers. Right? So how are you competent in something you never studied or worked on how to do? So it's not an insult unless you literally study men. You literally study your man. That requires more listening and more observation and more asking questions than anything else.
What are your thoughts, Slim? Tomorrow. You go in and out again.
All right, let's see what we can do. Is that any better?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're good. Go ahead.
So I think you had mentioned about, what people inherit from their parents and stuff like that. I mean, for most of us, we were latchkey kids, right? Like, so I was a latchkey kid. I know for me, the reason why I am like, okay, well, I want to make sure that I'm not an independent woman is because my mother was the best independent woman, right? Like my mother and father were together. They lived in the house up until I was 16, but my mother ran the show, right? Like, and I just knew, like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the person that's working super hard, that I had everything under the sun. I could go 3-4 months without ever wearing the same outfit, right? But my mother never showed up to a school event. So for some people, right? So for some women, they might say, okay, well, I want to be just like my mother. I want to be the independent woman. I want to lead the household. And for other people, they might turn around and say, well, no, I don't want to be that. I want to make sure that I am showing up for my kids. I want to make sure that I take the back seat. I'm okay with taking the back seat to my husband or my spouse or whatever that is. But I think today, a lot of women, like you were just saying, like a lot of women just be like, okay, well, I have a degree. I don't need a man. I can do this on my own.
And she'll be back. But I don't disagree with what she's saying. I feel like we get into these struggles and these battles with women begin because we are the cliche listening to respond and not to understand. And then it becomes this back and forth, this pointing the finger, this negative energy when it's like, no, I'm not saying you are lesser than, I'm not saying I am better than, but we have to find a common ground. And even in finding a common ground, one can still be deemed the prize or the catch. Like it doesn't diminish the other person involved in it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Tamora's perspective, because it's exactly what I said, but the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like she saw the strong, independent black woman and and drew a line in the sand. It was like, nah, I'm not. That's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't damn this independence. Like I need some help or want some help. Maybe not need. That's not the right word. I want some help. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a great perspective to take. I think no matter what perspective you take, it's the perspective you take. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Like I can't tell you how to respond or react to some potential traumatizing situations. But what I am telling you is how it's showing up in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that people in these comments can unanimously say that he's not the catch based on accomplishments alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll share a quick story. So my wife and I we were friends first and we started dating, and everybody in work and all of that stuff, they're like, what is your wife doing? Oh, she's an attorney. She's making the big bucks. All this stuff, right? All these things they would say. And I was just like, I would never respond, right? And even my parents, they like, don't mess that up. Or I tell somebody I'm with an attorney, like, don't mess that up. I'm like, all right. Because like her career path was more defined than mine. Like she went to school to be an attorney, graduated, became an attorney, right? I was still figuring out my path, doing well, like not bringing up the rear by no means, but at no point at no point did I not look at myself as the catch. At no point. Like, there was nothing about who I was that let me believe that she was the catch. Like, no, I'm still the catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still the catch because you're same situation. She bagged me. Well, I guess it's two stories, but the first time
it's definitely two stories.
She came and bagged me. The second time I bagged her. But my point is, she was at me. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a reason that she was attracted to me. And I became attracted to her, but I was still the catch. Regardless of her title, regardless of all her accomplishments. Like, I'm still the catch. You know what I'm saying? So I think you guys are actually kind of persuading me a little bit. And the more I talk this out loud or speak this out loud, like how guys could be the default catch. Like I can kind of see the logic behind that now. But then I'll go back to my dad. You know what I'm saying? It just screws the example up. But anyway, man, my point is I was in a relationship where on the surface, to Tamor's point, on the surface, people would automatically assume that I didn't want to mess that up because of her being an attorney and shit like that. And Tamor's right. Like, when she walks in the room, like, people notice, you know what I'm saying? Like, she has that presence about her. But it's like, nah, bro. Like, I'm still the catch. You know, like, I'm still that guy. You know what I mean? Like, and if you ask her, she may or may not say that, just ego, right? But she knows. Like, we had this conversation before we got on about the topic tonight. And she says, make sure you let everybody know I'm the catch. I'm like, you don't even believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't believe that. But this is what I'm saying. Like, it can go both ways. But I ultimately.
So I wanted.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to. I'm gonna post it real quick. But this is one of the comments that was on the thing, and it's just like, this is. Just tell me how this reads real quick.
Men and their inability to be emotional intelligent, so both partners bring different dynamics to a real relationship. Michelle and Obama are good examples of a great partnership.
No, they are a very good example of a great partnership.
What?
So who's the catch in that relationship?
Barack. Yeah.
So what's the argument?
But you know what's wild though? I feel like if you ask Barack how he genuinely felt, like, no capping, he would say his wife. And right. I say that to say it's healthiest or it's the better relationship when they both feel like the other person genuinely is, right? Like, I literally feel like my wife genuinely is the catch for me. But that's literally because she literally provides everything that I don't. And she's traditional, right? Like, she home with the kids all day, cook, clean, entrepreneur. So like, she's definitely wants to grow her business, but all of that is secondary to me and the family. And because it's hard to find that anywhere, like that's the 1%, you know, that I got. And then she feels the same way, like, Dag, this man protects me. Like, went across the country, married her and moved her here because I said, I'm not going to move you here unless you're a wife first. You know what I'm saying? So either way, we both would stand on the other person is the catch. So I think if you could get in something like that, you probably will be good to go.
Yo, go ahead, Tamara. You about to say something?
No, I think originally that, like, both people have something to contribute, right? So I may not be able to one person, I may not be able to provide anything, but the next person, I might do everything just based on that person's needs. And so it doesn't make my attributes or what I have to contribute to the relationship any less. But when you're talking about just in numbers, right? Like, you can get a mail order bride. You can't get a mail order husband, right? You have women that are signing up and marrying men in jail because the lack of finding a husband, like, getting somebody to commit to you and actually being a husband, not different. Have somebody to court you, go on date, have sexual relationships with, that's a dime a dozen. But to find a husband is different, and finding a man that's going to commit to you is different, and that's the catch. And because that's the minority, that's why men are the catch over women. I mean, ultimately, yeah, we all have something to contribute.
Right. I'm gonna go back to Erykah Badu's message because I think it rings true in your case, Adrian. Like, you had the mission, you had the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you laid it out, and she followed suit. Now, like Tamor said, it's like, yeah, here's the reality, and I can speak for this group, right? I can't speak in generality, but the reality is this: none of us that are on this call are going to be with anybody that's not going to make us better at this stage in our life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm with you, you're dope as fuck, period. Right? At some capacity, at some level, that's dope for me. So that's never going to be in question, right? Like from my peer group, because I know what they want to do, and I know like where they see themselves at. So I know that this person that they're choosing to spend their time with is going to be in line with that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, they could still be the catch, but this person will enhance whoever they are. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a great example, Adrian, where it's like, no, you had the mission, bro. So you're still the catch. Think about it. You convinced a woman to move across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not talking, you know, from New York to New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? We're talking multiple time zones.
Right. So just to play devil's advocate, right? I'm in Charlotte. It's a bunch of women here, right? Why go get somebody all the way from across the country? Like, how rare does that person have to be when I have so many women already around me? They talk, I'm emotionally intelligent. I'm a therapist. You know what I'm saying? So with my skill set, I literally have several different women to choose from. Yet I chose to go all the way across the country and move her, become a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? And say, because it's nothing like this right here. So I still agree, though. You know, men overall, we the catch, but
yeah, but this is sorry, Tamora, I'll cut you off. Go ahead.
No.
Tamora, do you feel offended if your man says to you he's the catch? Do you feel like that diminishes you in a relationship?
No.
Mr. White, do you feel like it diminishes you if your wife says she's the catch?
Nah, but she wouldn't say it too. So it probably would make me feel some type of way if she was like, I'm the catch. It probably would. I don't know. Because then it would be like, are you serious? Do you not see? Because we done got into it. I'm going to keep it a beam with y'all. We done got into it a few times where she was like, I literally had to just say like, yo, I do more than you. Like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do more than you. I make all of this stuff go is because of me.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man to say some shit like that, bro.
Hey, but that's the thing. Like, I think because I say it to her, when I'm feeling that way, it still allows me to get it out. And she may take it personal, but then we're able to talk. So I don't have to hold in a lot of these negative things, even if it's the wrong way to communicate it or the thing to say. It literally brings us closer because I'm not keeping it in. You know.
Yo,
so.
I'll keep it a buck in my relationship specifically. Like in the very, very beginning, she used to say that shit and it used to bother me. And then I would like go into I can show you better than I can tell you mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that shit has hurt me more than I care to admit.
Like that shit, like I'd be like, all right, I'm the catch. Are you the catch? All right, I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? But I think also it was different. It was different for me. Like it was different. Like I never been challenged like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I never been with somebody that had the audacity to say that they were the catch. You know what I'm saying? so for me, it was like, nah, this ain't. I can show you, but I can tell you. But
yeah, but to your point and to the whole topic of the argument's point, like it really, in people's perspective, it really is about what they do versus who they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and for me, it's who they are more than what they do. Yeah.
Right. And that's the way it should be. And again, I don't understand. I get it, but why people, like women in particular, are very, very offended by the fact that a man will say he's the catch, as if he doesn't believe he's with you. He believes in the partnership, and
it's almost like a rite of passage. And I'm not speaking for all women, but from these comments, it feels like, no, she did this, so by right, she's the catch. And it's like, yeah, she did all that. That means she's dope as fuck. But he's still the catch. You know what I'm saying?
It also with how they feel about themselves, right? There's no need to announce that I'm like, I know that about myself. So I don't have to go around and saying I'm the catch, because I already know that. Like, I don't have to go in and be like, well, I'm the catch. I'm not trying to convince anybody that I'm the catch. Like, I already know that I have a bunch of qualities, but I wanted to get married in the next year. I'm not going to be the girl that's at, what is it? Cheesecake Factory, asking a man to marry me. I'm not doing that. Right? Like,
but you would go on a date to Cheesecake Factory.
I absolutely will. Bring me. Sign me up.
That's real. That's real.
But like, I'm not asking a man to marry me, right? So ultimately, you're waiting for the guy, which makes him the catch. The decision is up to him.
Yeah, somebody has said something about that in the comment. Like, I'm a firm. Well, Chief, I know you typically want to keep this around an hour, right? Did you want to wrap it up?
No, we good, man. We good. We keep the party going. It's engaged, and the people are here. So, Tamora, what is for you in particular to be like he's a catch?
Sweating underneath this sweatshirt.
He's a catch. What does that look like for you? Because it's obviously different for everybody.
Yeah. So, like, the catch would, for me personally, it would have to be somebody that's self-assured, that has confidence, that has empathy. Always, family.
Where did this come from?
So I need to make sure that with my large family, that's not going to make you feel insecure. Because I ran into that where, I'm dating and somebody doesn't have it, doesn't come from family. That can be intimidating. So making sure that we're in alignment, and outside of that, everything else will follow. Right? Because you're self-assured, if you know how to lead, you will figure out a way to make money.
I say that all the time.
Qualities, if you don't have any of that, then it can't be it.
Prentice, welcome to the party, baby. Good to see you, man. I'm very happy you're here.
I got here just in time to say, do it.
we about to wrap it up soon. So I don't know if you tapped in earlier, but we just having a conversation about the Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens situation where he proclaimed himself as the catch. I'm more upset that he act like he didn't know who Simone Biles was. I'm cool with him saying he was the catch, but don't sit up and lie to America, bro. That ain't a good look.
His name says everything.
Right. What are your thoughts about that, P?
I don't have any problem with it. I think more of us need to have that perspective on ourselves. We just gotta actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we need more of that as black men.
Agreed.
We need more of that. We need to normalize that type of like thought process and self-image.
That's fair. That's very fair. Is that it?
There's nothing wrong with that. Saying that you're a catch, I don't think it means the other person isn't, but it's just how you view yourself as somebody quality.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with women saying that.
Not at all.
My issue is people not being able to fathom how that man could be the catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same thing that happened with your post.
It's the same thing.
It's the same shit. It's like, why can't that be a scenario?
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have that locked in here. Let me see. People, so is there a difference between prize and catch? Because it feels like some people are triggered by the word catch. Does that make a difference?
I think people will be triggered by the word prize more than catch.
It's more objective.
Like, prize is like signifying like you should be grateful to have won. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how I take it. Like,
so is that the same thing then? Do you feel like men are the prize or
women are the prize?
So women are the prize.
Yeah, men are the catch.
Men are the catch.
Why would you say that? Why is it women are the
first of all, Prentice, Tamora Prentice.
I was just about to say what's up. I'm sorry to y'all too. I didn't say. I just started talking.
Internet cousin.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that women are the prize though and men are the catch?
So I know you're just joining, but I feel like men are the catch in the relationship, right? Because, you know, ultimately it's up to the man to make the decision on if that relationship is going to move forward. Ultimately, just based on statistics, like, you know, the guy is the one that's making that decision on where that relationship is. I think the woman being the prize is because most of the time men are chasing the woman and winning them over, which makes the woman the prize.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's
a fair assessment.
Really fair. I'd agree if I thought about it socially too.
Well, I mean, again, that term trophy wife, you know, which would signify a prize, you know, somebody put, I think they're synonymous. I don't believe they're synonymous. I don't believe they're synonymous. I like her. I like Tamora's example. I think, like, I would never consider myself like the prize. Like that just seems like
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild.
Seems a little vain, a little bit.
Yeah, like catch. I'll take a catch. Yeah, I'll be the catch. You know what I'm saying? But prize, that's a bit much for me. But women can definitely be the prize, 100%. Yeah. Any IG comments that you care to share, Chief? That you feel like we need? Because I
don't know. Maybe it's just how I'm reading it, but I'm getting a lot of negative energy in here, so I'm just going to stay away from that. We had this conversation the other day about my perspective of negative energy, so I'm not even going to entertain that.
Prentice is here for all the negative energy.
Pass them on.
I mean, he can log into the Facebook Live and check it out and see who's, you know what I mean. But I'm not. I mean the Instagram Live. I'm not about to do that.
Nah, but too late, bro. I'm on my peaceful Zen hype now.
Good.
We appreciate you for that. I'm trying to do it. I'm living in that era too. I can tell you what, I did take a lot of gems from our last conversation, but we should probably
revisit it.
We should do that now while we have Slim on the joint. I'll find the clip again.
I don't mind. Huh? Those comments on.
No, we don't want to get you. We don't want to get you in trouble. It was I don't think you've ever been.
I just logged into. Oh, okay. Never mind. It's not in order. Never mind.
What?
Oh, let me see. It says we live. What is? Oh, let me turn this down.
So P, you came in late, but check in, man. How you doing? How you feeling? How you living? How was the Christmas and all that?
Everything was good, man. I'm in an interesting space where nothing is wrong, but I can feel that something is off.
Ooh.
I'm giving up weed for real. So
I thought you did that already.
Yeah. I wound down and I got it to once a day, but I'm giving it up now, man. So I got a little bit of anxiety behind that, to be honest with you, because it's such a regular part of my day. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, so there's a little anxiety around that, if I was being honest. But yeah, something is off, but nothing is wrong. So I got to figure out the off while nothing is wrong. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
With a man that is more sensitive than you.
It gets
that wasn't supposed to go up there like that. So I'm gonna put that up in a minute. But go ahead. My bad. Did you see that clip?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna play it again for the people. We're gonna have this quick conversation real quick. So check this out.
Anyway, I can't see the live.
So check this clip out, Mr. White. Were you there? You didn't have a conversation either with us. Me, Bell, and Prentice had this conversation. But check it out.
For me, in conversations like these, when
how do you deal with a man that is more sensitive than you?
It gets strange for me in conversations like these when we talk about one party being more sensitive or more soft, and a lot of times that kind of boxes men in, and it's alarming because if a man can't be sensitive and soft in his relationship, then where can he be? Like I don't know too many men that don't want to take their guard down with their old lady. Like I don't want to have to come home and protect myself from you. Like do you know what I gotta go through out in the world, and then to have to come home and guard and tiptoe with you because I can't be vulnerable? Like even when we use the word soft, bruh, a man being hard all the time will destroy him. Get you a man that gotta be hard all the time and see how he handle you. Brother, a man has to find softness in himself to properly handle those parts of you. Empathy is like a huge quality that's necessary for a healthy partnership. And in order to empathize, one almost has to see oneself. And if a man can't see himself in your emotions, if he can't see himself in your softness, then again, what do you think he's going to do? So when you talk about not wanting a man that's more sensitive than you, that's you falling into training that cuts pieces of a man off. And then you complain about those pieces being missing when he show up at your doorstep.
Tamora.
Yo, real quick, I can't see any of the live.
Yeah, what up? Tamora, are men too soft?
Well, you know, I said that I'm a woman of a certain age, so I date old men.
Sure, you stupid.
But I think that the newer generation, I think they're more in tune with their emotions than what we were allowed to be, right? Like myself included. Like there was no, even in leadership, I always would lead my get yourself together, right? But that was just part of my upbringing, me being a latchkey kid, me being all of that. And so after we're learning the difference, like it's okay to share your feelings, and we're all learning about mental health, and we're learning like, so I'm transitioning from that. But ultimately, no, men are not too sensitive. I think if somebody is in a space to where they can share that with you, very rare, you got to make sure. I did that recently. That's new for me.
Mr. White, are men too soft these days? Let me rephrase that. Are men too what was the word she used? Emotional? Sensitive. Are men too sensitive these days?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we are. I think we express it by we'll like shut down, or it'll just come out as, you know, just anger, or I think we'll overreact too. You know what I'm saying? We won't give people the benefit of the doubt. So I think based off of that, I'll say yeah.
Prentice, are men too sensitive these days?
Yep.
No context, just yeah.
No, yeah, way too sensitive nowadays, man.
Bell, are men too sensitive these days?
Not in my experience.
Some more. What's too sensitive? Like, what's the point where you're like, this don't work for me?
Wait. Let Prentice go. Prentice ready.
My bad. I'm sorry. I had to clarify because Bill said not for me. I don't mean too sensitive in the way of being aware about our feelings. I mean sensitive in the way of being too weak to like heal from shit, or like being too weak to grow, like too offended to change something about themselves. I look at sensitivity in men in that aspect, not from a space of like emotion.
Tamora, what would you define as too sensitive for a man?
Like not being able to regulate their emotions.
Oh.
Right? Like you can't regulate if you can't figure out how to solve whatever the problem is. And
you're still a little choppy, Tamora. We got to get you a microphone.
So like if men are leading with emotion and not trying to find a solution, like I'm a solution-based person. So it's okay to have emotion about a particular scenario, but you got to get to a solution. So if they're just only leading with emotion and they're not trying to get to a solution, that's too emotional. Like they live in their feelings instead of trying to find a solution.
That is a hot take, and I like that because
that's true too.
Because when I hear emotional, I'm thinking like, for lack of a better phrase, like crumbling under pressure, you know, like or crumbling under scrutiny or whatever the case. That's kind of what I think about. But you make a good point. I'm not gonna do it, but I want to bring up the elevator, but I'm not gonna bring up the elevator. The elevator story tomorrow, it's a long story. Anyway, but what I will say is, to your point, if that would constitute as a sensitive man, I love that definition, because Liberty Twitcher is asking for the elevator story. So,
yo, come on, man. All right, go ahead. Wait, before you give him the elevator story. No, go ahead, because I got a quote.
Story like 50 times.
50. I gotta.
You're new to Twitch, so go ahead, Chief.
No, you go ahead. You can tell it.
So, Tamora mentioned like regulating emotions, and finding a solution. The elevator story was Chief and I was at Prentice's wedding. A dude walked in, but his head down. Chief said good morning. Dude didn't respond. Chief then said good morning again with more authority. And the dude was looked up from his phone. Oh, sorry, good morning. And I'm like, then why you put all that pressure on that man to say good morning to you? Like, what if he didn't want to speak? Long story short, Chief and I got into it about his approach. And what I had told Chief last episode or 2 episodes ago, I'm like, you need to look into why that triggered you so much. So, i.e. finding a solution. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you carry this energy with you everywhere you go, eventually it's not going to end well. You know what I'm saying? And not ending well can mean a range of things. But my whole point was like, let's get to why is that so triggering to you? Because him not speaking to you isn't the trigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, or is the trigger of something that's like deeper,
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that definition, because that actually holds men more accountable than them crying in front of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Which could constitute them as being sensitive or emotional or whatever the case.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like, you express your emotion, but you can't live in it.
You can't.
So for those that just live in the sorrow or whatever that's going on without trying to get to a solution, I can't deal with that.
Which is to your point, Prentice. Like, that was your definition. You know what I'm saying? Like, those who can't get out of their situation.
So peep this, fellas. This was the one I just pulled from Instagram real quick, but shout out to Groovy Grady Cook. She says, no, men are not too sensitive because the opposite is anger, fights, and shooting each other. And my counter to that is, I would attach that to the sensitivity, because most of those things happen because they responded to something that they didn't like in an overly dramatic way, and ended up shooting or fighting somebody. I think that would ultimately make them more sensitive. No?
Yeah,
absolutely. Very much so.
And also, as men, we can all do a better job communicating.
100%
with each other, or in general, but definitely with each other, because ego, emotion, all of that stuff gets involved. Proximity, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff gets involved, and we can't. And then we get to a point where we can no longer have a conversation, and then it becomes its own sight. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if you didn't physically harm nobody that's next to me or with me or anybody I love, we can talk through it. Like, we may not be able to resolve it, but we can get to a place where I don't want to physically harm you anymore. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be a conversation, and we need to do better as men, as communicators, as Black men in general.
Shout out to the Crossroads. It says, I just think we are now hearing more from men, whereas they used to be silent and or destructive to their own bodies via habits and vices. I think that is crucial. That's a clutch point and key point right there. Like, I think being that we're more we're becoming more and more comfortable with having conversations like this and speaking about that. We're now deemed too sensitive or too emotional. I don't think that's fair at all.
Here's the conundrum, right? Here's the conundrum. I feel like therapy is way more normalized now than it was when we were growing up, right? It was very taboo. Like, only white people go to therapy. I can't tell you how many times I heard that growing up, right? Don't tell nobody about what's going on in this house, outside this house. Here's the conundrum. Men are now being more in tune with their feelings. And then the minute they become more in tune with their feelings, they get labeled. Right. And then the flip side to that is, or in addition to that, is women are finding their voice, which is amazing, you know. And then this resurgence of independence is coming, you know, in droves. So now it's like, well, I got this sensitive man. I can do all of this by myself. If he's gonna be sensitive, I can do all of this by myself. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, now that man is just trying to be whether you can see it this way or not, that man's trying to be a better person for you.
I think it's important for women to ask themselves who feel like men are too sensitive, in what capacity of the relationship is his sensitivity affecting the relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we talking just from an emotional space and you're not used to handling a man who is however this man is that you deem sensitive, or is his behavior and what you deem as his sensitivity like impacting the quality of the relationship? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but so when we talked about this premise, that's what I was saying. It has everything to do with what they normalize, women. Mm-hmm. How were they raised, literally?
Yeah.
Were they raised by a man who showed their emotions? Mm-hmm. And if they weren't, then that may be off-putting, which I understand. But
that's not what they grew up saying. Yeah.
But here's
I think that men are forced into the space to where now they have to show up with personality, just because now women are making money, right? Like, women no longer have to depend.
That's a good point.
You know, like if you go back to like our grandparents' age, or generation, our grandfathers didn't have to have personality. As long as he brought home a check and took care of the house, it didn't matter if he was completely shut off. Women couldn't even get credit cards. They couldn't get housing until the 80s. So those men didn't have to show up with personality. They didn't have to come emotionally available, as long as they came home with a check. But now, if I make enough money to take care of myself, I need you to show up in other ways. And so men are forced to come with personality. They're forced to come with emotional intelligence. And so men are, as pursuers, are like, all right, well, I want a woman, so I'm going to fix myself.
Yeah, and that's
men who won't sing for women.
This is going to be a cut up, because that is a very good point. It's like, we're then challenged to be a better version of ourselves. But to my original point, we're doing that for you, right? Like, we know that who we are right now is no longer enough. I'll say it like that. It's no longer enough. Like, we have to be more. So we have to get in tune with these things. And then when we do, we discover things that were suppressed, that we were ignoring all these years. And now all of a sudden, when we choose to address them, now it's like, you soft ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that shit ain't right. It ain't right, y'all. It ain't right. It ain't right, y'all.
Nah, you know it's wild. Like, I don't even be recommending that men be like super vulnerable in their relationships, yo. Because most women don't know how to deal with it, right? So I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to prep her before you have this conversation, or you do it with a counselor or something first, right? Because again, they never saw it, they don't know what to do, and they will take that thing, they'll use it against you, or they'll start to even lose respect for you. These women nowadays, oh, you saw you crying about something, oh, you cry more than me. I'm not even about the respect go out the window. Then once you lost that, it's a wrap.
It's a done deal.
Yo,
you gotta be careful.
Adrian, real quick, I see why people be coming for you in these comments, bro. like you be saying shit very matter of fact, like, and I think your title doesn't help you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't. It hurts me. It hurts me because they're like, if you're a therapist, why are you even saying this? But it's literally because I see it because we don't know what we don't know, right? But if you think about the points that have been made, we talked about how most women don't see an emotional man growing up, right? Nobody has taught them how to handle it. So then how can you be upset with me when I say, hey guys, be careful about doing it because the majority of women don't know how to handle it. It's literally laying it out. And that's the importance of getting somebody who knows what they are talking about. I tell men, talk about it with your friends or your homeboys first so that the emotion is out of it. Then you can go tell her what you were going through, right? But now if she doesn't receive it or not, now you're not going to respond because she doesn't understand you. You already got it out. You already dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? So now when I go back and talk to my wife, like, yeah, I was just frustrated, overwhelmed caused me to slip up because I felt like this. But now we can have the conversation and my emotions are not tied into it versus me trying to have it when I'm in that emotional state.
Yeah.
Oh, that's game. I'm about to use that shit.
But I don't know if it works.
Yeah, because you hit us up after the fact. Catch us beforehand, bro.
That resonated with me.
No. In his scenario, the dude hit his boys up before.
No, I'm talking about Prentice. He said he's about to use this. Yeah, but he'll hit us up after the shit has gone through.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, catch us.
Get y'all first, so I can be zoom.
Yeah, I think I don't personally believe that this is standard. Like what we have right here, I don't think this is standard in all friend groups. You know what I'm saying? Like I think friend groups can absolutely possess it. I don't think that this is standard. And the reason why I said I don't know if that works, because think about it, right? Think about the population that we're talking about men who historically have not been able to compartmentalize and deal with whatever they got going on. So we're gonna feel something for the first time. So two things. We're gonna feel something for the first time potentially in this relationship. And the suggestion is go talk to your boys about it, which means this will be the first time we're saying it out loud, which also means that we'll have to reconcile these feelings in real time in front of an audience that has no understanding on how to help me.
How to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
So a mentor rather than boys. Because I guess, like you said, our circles, everybody don't have circles like we have. Right? So if your circle is lacking, and if your circle is lacking, don't go tell nobody who you can't learn nothing from, or somebody who is at least on your level, right? To where they know what you're trying to work towards, and y'all can still hold each other accountable while you're trying to reach a specific goal.
Yo, that is one thing I'm exponentially grateful for, a solid fucking circle.
Yo, but wait, Adrian, I kind of want to stay on this because I could see how this can go down a rabbit hole, man, and not a good way necessarily, because I'm of the mind. First of all, I agree with you, right? I agree that first date, whatever the time frame, we shouldn't be pouring our hearts out. Like I just don't believe in that, right? I feel like, and I talked about this on one of the episodes recently. Like, if I get vulnerable with you, it's because I know it's going to land in a safe space, right? You've created some type of community for me to make me believe that I'm safe here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that you should spill all your deepest, darkest secrets until you know that it's going to have a safe landing. That's my thoughts and feelings. In the same breath, which is like me kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth, vulnerability does create community, though. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there has to be, because I think it's circumstantial. I don't necessarily agree with the approach of going to talk to your boys, but I understand how it can make sense. I do. I understand how it can make sense. I guess what I'm saying is, if there's not a space, whether you choose to use it or not with a woman or your significant other, if there's not a space where you feel like you can be your true authentic self, that's problematic. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, and I understand your point, Adrian, like they may not be equipped, but I can tell you for damn sure most, not all, but most guy groups, friend groups aren't equipped either. And maybe, just maybe, the landing is safest with her. Maybe. So that's what I'm saying. Like I see both sides, but I don't know if it's like, and not that you were saying this, but I don't know that it's like black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. And you didn't say that, but I just felt like I needed to say that.
But no. Yeah. So I'm with you. So definitely scratch out the homeboys unless, you know, they're of a certain caliber, right? But let's say mentor. The beautiful thing about you taking it to one of them first, processing it, now your emotions are out of it. Now when you take it to her, now you can see how she'll respond and you won't react emotionally.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? So now that I'm bringing, so you still bring it to the person. I'm not saying don't ever hide it, don't ever show
You're basically just getting that initial shock out.
Get it out the way.
You know, the part about that I like the most personally is preserving the perception of not being weak in her eyes because she doesn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? And I know for me, my whole life in relationships, that was my concern because I'm able to express how I feel. Being deemed is like weak. You know what I'm saying? So I really like the idea of being a little bit more together emotionally when you talk to her. And like you were saying, like you can see her response, and it preserves your image in a way in front of her eyes due to her, like, you know, ignorance, and not in like an ill way, but she just isn't knowledgeable on how to handle that shit. So it kind of preserves you in a way. I think that's dope.
Yo,
Mr. White, it look like you got some therapist smoking in the comments, B. Shout out to Groovy Grady Cooks again.
Never tell a partner not to be sensitive with his or her partner. We will process this together in a couple sessions. Right, but my advice is not based on me being in a couple sessions. Right? Like, I'm not talking as a therapist. I'm talking about, hey, if you, and that's why
we're not in there right now.
Right, or with a therapist, if you're gonna do it in that setting. But if I'm not there, I don't recommend it based on the outcomes that I have seen. Based on everything that they tell you.
Yo, your face and response was priceless. I'm literally crying real tears right now.
Some more. Are you a safe space?
Oh my god.
I have been. You know what? I've learned to be in later years, right? Because I've learned that I wasn't always a safe space.
I was just about to say to more, like, I could see you being hard on these dudes, man. I'm not saying you are. I could see it though. You know what I'm saying? I could see you being hard on them.
That's saying she a crackhead.
Earlier life. That's why I changed my name, because I'm a new person.
Okay.
But
hey, who was that talking?
It's something that I had to learn through experience, because you know what, I had such a demand on what my expectations was of my partner, right? Like, I need you to be this for me because I know this can't go wrong, and so there wasn't any wiggle room for you to mess this up, right? So I didn't allow a space for him to share anything else. Right. And then it wasn't until, you know, you're out of the relationship where you're like, okay, well, maybe I could have held space for this. Well, I see where this went wrong. And then you have those post-relationship conversations. And it's like, okay, now that my emotions are out of it, I can see where I could have been a better partner. So for me, I take those lessons into, you know, my new relationship now.
So let me ask.
Currently, I can be a safe space because I know what that looks like. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what I needed to be.
If you're throwing nuggets at single women or women in relationships and give them advice on how to curate, cultivate, and secure a safe space for a man, what would you say?
Most of it is just active listening.
Agreed.
Listen without response.
Agreed.
Right? So most of I was always, especially because I'm a solution-based person, and most women are, we're there to be, we want to fix it. Like, how can we fix it? How can we help you? And a lot of times men don't want you to fix anything. That's not our job or responsibility. And I didn't know that. I thought my job was to help my spouse fix this problem. He didn't want my help.
He just wanted to vent.
Yeah. He just wanted me to be there and be a space for him. And I couldn't get past myself and trying to be like, I need to fix this. People like, I don't need you to do shit. Like, I'm a man, I'm gonna do this on my own, but I couldn't get past that.
So what I've learned something similar in that regard though, Slim, is because it was I think it was Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and it's a chapter it's called Mrs. Talk About It and Mr. Fix It. And what it was is she's coming home and venting about, Sally at work or whatever. And what we hear, oh, you should just quit, or, you should go check Sally, whatever. When in actuality, she wanted him to listen and not try to fix all the problems. You know what I'm saying? So I think listening is clutch on both ends, because naturally as men, we're fixers. That's we hear a problem with you and we're trying to fix it rather than just letting you get your shit off and everything be all right.
Yeah, but this goes back to communication. Hey, baby, what do you need from me right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes
simple
back
as
to
that.
Communication.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It goes back to communication.
And not to make excuses, but it's like if you are a person that was raised by, an 80s independent mom, and in my case, I was raised by y'all, right? Like, my friends were y'all. I didn't have a bunch of women around me, right? So I saw y'all, mostly all the men do whatever. Like, you guys were my friends. But I didn't understand how, so I adapted the lifestyle of men, right? So I handle situations in solution-based ways. Like, I don't know how to just be quiet. I know how to fix problems. I know how to solve, which may not necessarily be my role when you're in a partnership.
Or it could be, right? Again, it just all depends on what it calls for.
But that also goes back to she was talking about, her upbringing as to why she is the way she is. But with not seeing these certain elements of sensitivity in men during your upbringing may hold you back from recognizing it or appreciating or accepting it as an adult.
Well, it sounds like that's where she was, and she
right. No, yeah.
Adrian, you were gonna say something. We cut you off.
Probably in like a week, I'm gonna be done with this workbook that my wife and I created on communication. That joint is fire. So because when I do couples counseling, I typically spend like the first 2 to 3 sessions really breaking down communication. So difficult, giving them literally like points, homework, stuff to work on. And so we creating a workbook that's gonna be fire. I might just give it to you, Belle. I don't think I'm gonna charge it. I'm just gonna give it to you just so you could go through it, and I would love to kind of just get your thoughts, your feedback on it. I want you to do it with your wife and let me know what you think. Come up here, give you an honest review of it.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time, dude. Like, couples counseling or couples therapy saved our relationship. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no two ways about it. Like, I'm a strong and firm believer in therapy in general, right? Which is why we have this platform. But I definitely feel that's how you sustain, in my opinion, a relationship. That's how it sustains. You know what I'm saying? Like I suggest Prentice, you and Sarai go, right? Regardless if anything is wrong or not. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a good opportunity for maintenance. It's a good opportunity for check-ins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's good, man. I think Blancado. Oh, that's my bad. That's Blanco. I thought that was Blancado. My bad. But yeah, damn. I told Prentice to go to therapy. He jumped off.
Nah, but it's better to start going before there's even any issues, man.
Exactly.
That's how you catch it. Like, one of the most difficult things is working with couples when it's so many layers that we got to try to peel that thing back. Like, rarely do we ever make it all the way through before somebody is just tired.
Like, enough is enough. Yeah.
Because it's worth even peeling that back. So if things is going good, start now, y'all.
Right. Tomorrow, how you feel about couples therapy?
I'd be open to it now, like in my new space, for sure. I know that I should have taken advantage of it, when I was married, right? Mm-hmm. Like, instead of trying to fix everything ourselves. And I think that a part of it was, like, I think you mentioned earlier, like, I came from what goes on in this house stays in this house lifestyle. So we're not sharing anything with anybody. We're going to fix it here. We don't need to go talk to anybody else.
No, nobody need to know what's going on up in here. Yeah.
Right. And it's the blind leading the blind. So,
Word.
Word. Definitely. Yo, to anybody watching right now, hit the like button one time for the one time. I just seen a couple come in and it reminded me. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing this more and more often. Having some pretty introspective conversations and some general conversations that challenge us to be better. So follow us, subscribe and stay tapped in with us. Y'all got anything else? Anybody in the comment got any questions for us? You guys got anything else you want to talk about tonight? We ran well over our time tonight, but we gave the people what they want.
Yeah, no, I can start with my final thought. If there's
hold on. Are there anybody in the comments looking for some, I mean, we got a therapist on. You can ask your question. Mr. White is here. He is here.
I'm gonna find that answer and capture it. Like that's going to be a cut up too, Adrian. Because that, and maybe nobody thought it was as funny as I thought it. Maybe because I know you now from all these interactions. That shit was hilarious.
So again, we're gonna jump into the final thoughts, y'all. We like to close with some gems we took from the episode and then go from there. So go ahead, you up first. Your final thought.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Big also want to come on. So if you see him, tell him the highlighters. But Oss ain't coming on. He don't want to come on. He always welcome. Always welcome. Shout out to Kendall Robinson. I never considered couples therapy until listening to you guys' podcast. So thanks. No, man. I just think.
Salute, Kendall.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, man, I'm up here looking crazy. You got the camera just on me. I ain't gonna hear that.
You good, baby?
Anyway, my final thought. You feel me? My final thought is, man, like, let's not allow. It's a quote. It says, "Don't bleed on people who didn't cut you," and I think that has to do with people. We all have unresolved trauma. I don't care who you are, what your background, what you're bringing in. There's some level of unresolved trauma that we haven't addressed, and I think sometimes that shows its face in situations like this, when a man calls himself something in his relationship. Nothing to do with anybody, but in his relationship. And I think sometimes those are the triggers that can bring up some of these things that we haven't addressed. So I just encourage everybody, man, to start with communication, right? Start talking. I had a conversation with my daughter at 7-something this morning about the same topic. It's just like, what's triggering you isn't the real issue. Like, you got to dig a little deeper to find out what's happening. And you have to be open to what you find. And that's it. Just start with the conversation. I'll end it with that. And also, I want to thank Tamora. This was very last minute, yo. I texted her this morning, like, you trying to go live tonight? And all I gave her was a topic. I didn't go into any more details. So, Tamora, thank you so much for being a trooper and adding so much value tonight.
Mr. White, final thoughts, B.
Definitely with communication. I encourage you all to listen to understand, man. Like, literally take the time to try to understand what your person is saying, whether it's your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend. It's not about being right? But when you go into conversations trying to understand each other, that's how you build unity, right? So build unity, go to therapy, get you a coach, develop your supports, and, remember you with your person. You with your person.
Slim, Tamora, formerly known as Slim, Miss Tamora, please give us your final thoughts.
Women will always be the prize, and men are the catch, and you shouldn't want a man that's not a catch. So it's okay to let men be the catch. Let Simone Biles' husband, because we don't know his real name, let him be the catch. And I think that, just be open to conversations, be open to speaking with whoever you're going to be in partnership with, because otherwise, you'll be doomed. But thank you guys for having me.
No doubt. We appreciate you. So I'm going to give my final thought this way. And I think what struck me the most today, what I held on to, was the negative impact that someone deeming themselves the catch brought on other people. And I think if you took that in a negative light, there's still probably some healing and work that need to be done. And there was a quote that I saw, and it said, the more you heal, the more comfortable you are with being the villain in the story of someone who hasn't done the work to heal themselves. The more you heal, the more comfortable you are with being the villain in the story of people who don't want to do the work to heal themselves.
Now I got it. Now I got it.
So do the work, y'all. That's why we here to encourage you to do the work. A shout out to to Kendall, who said we encourage him to go to couples, or we inspired him to go to therapy and whatnot. Salute to everybody in the chat that was rocking with us. Yo, we got a website, got merch on the website. If you tap in within the next, I don't know, now, get on there, type in the code ABMNT Live 15 while we're live and get you 15% off of whatever it is that you buy. www.abmnt.com. We got a voice line, y'all. You going through it, it ain't one of them like helplines necessarily, but yeah, but if we around, we'll answer, respond to text messages, or pick up the phone if you call 860-410-6160, 860-410-6160. I thought I had to join in here somewhere, but apparently I don't. Mr. White, I put his information up earlier, but I'll throw it up there again so y'all can see it. And hit my man up if you're looking for some counseling or therapeutic services, both couples, individuals, and men. Holla at him. Tamora, we appreciate you. I would love to have you back. I think that's it, y'all. So, per usual, do us all a favor and hug a black man today.
Do it.
And tomorrow.
Do it.
My people, we are out.